Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you. I actually took a YouTube video and I learned how to do this, and I just did it myself, but I kind of simplified it, and now I'm just showing it on a video. So what we've been through is creating a thumbnail for YouTube, so I could publish a couple of videos about Claude code. And one of the last images I created was, excuse me, for generating a sales pitch from eBay, and we'll take a look at that. So basically, what we're going to do with this is do what I learned in this other YouTube video. What we do is what we want to do is create a skill, and I want the skill to control generating a sales pitch by using another PowerPoint sales pitch. So basically, this takes the eBay sales pitch, which is here in my source folder, and it's a skill to convert, create a sales pitch for my Hometask AI company using this skill. So the way it started was, oh, here is a brand skill. I'm going to take it and use it and make sure that it generates my Hometask AI skill. So that is what the point of this is. And so sure enough, it did use intelligence. I gave it my website to look at my Hometask.io website to generate certain information, to gather certain information about my company, and it seemed to do a good job. And so basically that's what we're going to do. The output does appear here in this file. So we're going to generate it and rewrite it again and show you what it is. So basically, I told Claude to create. I told Claude to create a folder called Pitch. I called it to create a directory where I could put in skills. And so usually this directory is called skills, or it names it by the skill, and there's a skill.md file here. But here I have a Steve-brand, which has the skill in it, and it seemed to use it. So without knowing too much, I actually created a Hometask sales pitch deck, which looked pretty accurate. So let me show you the file, the original file. And I don't know whether I just heard that eBay has a good sales pitch, so I needed a sales pitch, so I just wanted to see what this thing would do. Okay, so basically, oh, this is my Hometask. Let's go back to the eBay. Here's the eBay. Now, I wanted my skill to define colors and stuff like that, but at first I wanted to generate the functionality of what I wanted. So this is an eBay sales pitch. It's got some comments here, and when I generated my Hometask PowerPoint, it had some other comments with some of the numbers, but when I checked them on Google, it seemed like they were accurate, like home innovation projects, how much money. Well, you got Home Depot and Lowe's and people spending a lot of money on home innovation projects. So it gave accurate numbers for that. So it not only copied the structure, the theme, and the colors, but I also got numbers here which sort of were related to home innovation. Not that my product would be getting all those projects and generating that, but it just showed the information. So here's the eBay, the executive summary. It has one slide, and it delivers superior returns. And then there's some general e-commerce, corp to corp sales, auto part vehicles. It's breaking down different categories: luxury, cross-border trade, whatever. And we could see what there's a slide here for Hometask which shows things related to home innovation. So that's what I was driving at. I'm really looking for that sales pitch to start with, so I could move forward with trying to get some funds. And this is a flywheel, which basically has certain categories, and the Hometask innovation had different labels on these, let's say, and then etc. So I didn't even really look at this too much. I just wanted to see whether the theme and the colors and what I found interesting though, and I don't know if this was my accident or the AI, it managed to put my email in this slide, which was a side effect. I actually told the skill not to change the original source. So maybe I'm confusing something, but something went wrong here, which is not good. So lesson learned. They say that AI could be dangerous. I consider that a little bit. If I didn't recognize that, that would be a big surprise. So so now let's look at the results real quick. And I'll do this first before I show you the skill. So now this is what I wanted to do, and notice it changed the label here: cloud formation, home projects, connecting homeowners to contracts to video AI. This took the information from my website. Now there was probably some stuff up here. My goal is to go in here and edit this and start with this, but and this should say Hometask AI. Well, it should say Hometask AI. So nothing's perfect here. But it did generate some different categories here. It took this from my websites. Now, also, Claude AI, when I give it an ARN to one of my agents, it generated resources that had a lot of information about my project. So that was very impressive as well. So when I saw this number, I was like, well, let me see what this number looks like, and it is 500 to 700 billion or something like that. So these numbers Claude must have generated from the web. I don't know, but notice this is for this was how it works. This is one of the site areas. Although it's React, I don't know how it interrogated this, but it seemed to interrogate this site area. But the truth is, I'm capturing a video. I'm categorizing, classifying. What is this? A bedroom project? Is this a bathroom project, or a shower project, plumbing project, kitchen project? And basically, I'm trying to categorize the project. So it seems like it's doing okay. It mentions DynamoDB, Factors, scaling, and some other things. I don't know how it got this stuff, but I could find out. What is interesting is it creates some categories. Now, when I pointed to my agent, my multi-agent system I have in Bedrock, it actually said there was 14 categories. It understood everything about my project. So, I mean, that was a different resource deliverable. Notice down here, Investor Sales Pitch 2026. So I thought this was kind of interesting. yeah, so I found it interesting that this was created because really the goal is to I think when I did this once and pointed to my agent, Claude actually generated really good um, a strategic plan for deliverables and stuff. It was pretty interesting. All right, so anyway, that is the goal of the video and the skill. So this took me a couple of minutes. Like I said, someone had a video on web. Alex, I took some of his stuff. I created this folder. I used Claude Code in Visual Code, um, and I copied. I renamed my brand. I changed a directory. I think I changed this. I just hard coded this temporarily, but my goal is to take any sales pitch and generate a Hometask sales pitch. That's the goal. So I'm not really finished with this yet. And you could evaluate these skills. Claude has a skill called Create Skill or Command Create Skill, and basically when I created skill, it generates something. This is one I think you could evaluate this skill with that. But it's kind of limited, and I didn't want to do too much work, so I just decided to use it. Now, keep in mind that I'm far from finished. Really, I really going to specify my colors. I could have said use the same colors of the website, but instead I said use the theme in this pitch. So there's a lot of things you could do here. So let's see how I did this. Once you get the skill, you define the skill. You wanted to analyze this file. Now I put the file in the source folder, and then I have an output folder where the output went in. So I took a couple of minutes to do that because I want this to be a certain way. I think I did the /init to initialize the Claude project in this folder. I think I created this call agent, which I used when I was generating stock prices, and I was calling a stock price endpoint. So I probably don't need this. And this is this was so given my my Claude some service account information for Google email, so I could talk to Google email. But right now what I'm doing, I'm not using those things. I'm just trying to simplify this. So I like using Claude for this. Simple. It's simple. It's just generating content. We're using generative AI to do something simple, and we're giving Claude an opportunity to do some work for me. Now I pay $20 a month for a Claude Code, which is free in the Pro edition. When I went to connect to an API in Claude, I had to put $20 in my account so I could call the API to generate a thumbnail. So just so you know, pay the $20, get Claude Code. If you're using APIs or anything, which I was trying to avoid, but it happened to need, the API needed it to generate the thumbnail, you might need to put $20 in your account in Claude, but I might be paying double for this. I don't know. Anyway, let's see how I use this. So the goal is to folder skills or commands, and Claude is going to automatically find this. So let me try to test it. In the settings JSON file, there are some permissions, so I do have trouble doing some things in this folder, but I can open them up here. See, what I could do. This is the brand that I copied. If I want to remove Steve brand, I could do that. But in order to me to remove Ollie's brand, I had to put this command in. So just keep that in mind, that I'm trying to do things safe here. I'm getting prompted every time I want to do something, and I'm going to ignore everything else. This was my environment file, so I do have some. This was Alpaca. If anyone hasn't used this, use it. You register and you get a chance to do fake trades or real trades using an API key. It's free of cost. And what I did was I connected this, and Claude was calling this, and I was creating strategies to make stock calls and trades and stuff artificially. However, you can do it for real. And then I put some stuff in here. I didn't know what I used. Oh, this was my Hometask agent, where I put my agent ARN, and when I told Claude to that I was doing something with Hometask agent, I was trying to use Claude front end to do to be the chatbot for my Hometask agent, because I'm gonna generate, Claude can generate a web app to call my Hometask agent, which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put on my website. But the real thought that comes to mind is using Claude embedded in the iframe to act as a customer front end for anything. So I don't know if Claude permits that, but we'll see. But I could say, Claude, generate a React app that calls this, that acts as a chatbot and calls this agent ARN, and I'm pretty sure I'll get a web page which runs on my local, and that could call my agent. Okay, there's no security there, so I gotta be careful. Okay, so let's go back to the brand, and let's go to Claude. And so now what I want to do is I want to, the goal is to get Claude to read the sales pitch and generate output from my Hometask sales pitch. And I already showed you those, so I'm not going to go and show you them again, but this is the skill that I created. So basically, when you say create skill, you're in some sense asking Claude to create a skill, and then you could describe it, and you'd wind up with this file. So I've done that before, but that's not how I started this, because if you do that, you'll basically have the .claude folder and some skills labeled separately here, and it uses the -skills.md files, and things get a little bit differently, and some organization happens. But this is a simple demo. Okay, so let's do this. What I want to do is I'm going to just tell it what to do. Claude, read the eBay the source folder and generate a output deck using information with HTTP Hometask.io. This might not work. Claude, read the eBay sales pitch in the source folder and generate a Hometask output deck using, I'm going to say, same style and vibe I'm just saying this because I don't want it to be confused, and I don't want. Your prompt is really important. If I just say brand a new sales, this might ask me for the source and destination. So let's see what this happens. But if I do something too vague, it might not find the source. It might not find the might not know the destination. It might ask me where these directories are. And generate Hometask output deck using the same style and vibe information. I'm going to say with information in, I'm going to say in this website and place resulting deck in output folder. Okay, so let's see if this knows how to use my skill. There's the pitch. There's the output. It's reading home. It would have generated this, but now it just read the Python file because it generated it last time. Okay, allow this bash file. All right, yeah, I'm just gonna allow things and see. Basically, I'm going to just say yes to this. It's trying to read the about page of my React app. I thought it wouldn't do it, but I'm just going to just say yes. The home page, yes. So what's interesting here is it seems like Claude might be smart enough to get the site areas for my React page. So I'm just going to yes this to death and see what happens, because this isn't exactly what happened last time. I might have changed I'm just yesing it, whatever it wants to do. You know, I don't have to get these prompts to say yes. It could automatically do all these things. Now my site is out of date, so I'm gonna update it before I do something official here, but because this looks like it's really interrogating my code and finding out things. Now I might have a lot of meta tags there. I don't remember what I did with my content, but the fact that Claude is interrogating my React website site areas is kind of impressive. Oh, it's getting my email address, my phone number. This is doing a lot more than my last run, and I'll try to find out why. But it looks like it's doing a more accurate job. So you know that when you deploy to production, a lot of things are used in production a certain way with servers and stuff like that. Here I'm using my desktop and some of the skills on my desktop, so just keep that in mind. That I'd have to investigate what can be done in a production server if I wanted to make this really a usable service to many users. But at the moment, this is for me. I'm generating content for my business, and I'm pretty sure that companies want to be able to do this. So setting up multiple users to do things like this and using an out-of-the-box skill is extremely valuable for that company. Now, I really don't think, looking at this code, even I don't want to look at it. I'm just yesing this stuff to death. Change the code, run it, and that's exactly what a business analyst would do. But you keep in mind that we are doing some technical stuff here, so I don't think like I said, I think someone technical does have to do this work. Because I'm in Visual Code. I mean, Visual Source Code. This is not even my primary developer IDE. I usually use WebStorm or PyCharm. Now it gets a little bit tedious here. Like I said, the questions are being asked. If I'm not reading and understanding and I'm just yesing it, I might as well turn that off. It's just updating this folder, which is just temporary anyway. So notice this comment here, which is very interesting. Had to pull stuff from the JS bundle, ground content. Let's see what happened. It looks like it worked, and it might be complaining a little bit about the size of it. I got the impression. So let me take a look at this and see what transpired. Usually you okay, it created a sales pitch 1. So let's see how many pages this has, because it looks like it has the same pages. Now, I would have a hard time telling you whether this one is different, because I really didn't look at the it does look a little different though. I don't know if this is the problem. I don't know. I'll have to double check. I think what I'm trying to verify here is that my prompt, the way I did the prompt differently, yeah, it definitely generated different content here. So the way I posed my prompt, although previously I pointed to the source, I pointed to the I specified the files which I wanted generated and read, and I noticed it was doing not as much work. Or maybe I pressed a different button saying don't look at the About Us page, because I know it's React and you're probably going to have a problem with that. So it might have skipped it. So definitely I see different things. Let's see if these numbers come up. Market opportunity. Let me just see. It looks like I did have a slide which said contractors and regular users. So it's definitely different. Which brings me to my next point. Which one do I use, right? So it's sort of like it's kind of that's why you got to get your skill set and go with it. You can get different results based on different prompts. Now, the prompt that I have in Claude, the visual code, I could change it. I could change it interactively, but I want this skill to work. So I think when I noticed that this was a really valuable slide, that I do have homeowners and I have service providers, and I want to make that distinction. There's going to be two groups of users in my app. So this is a good slide. I like it. I don't know why this was generated. I think it read a different page. So this looks a little bit, yeah, it does look different. So yes, so now I'm faced with that problem. So I could ask Claude which one is better for a sales pitch, and it would probably give me an answer. But I do want to go back, and like I said, this has to do with me prompting a little bit differently and maybe answering those questions differently. So the thing that struck me as interesting is, okay, so this first sentence is definitely more of a sales pitch, connecting homeowners and contractors through video. What I was looking for is, oh, I didn't have the market opportunity numbers, did I? And there wasn't a distinction between customers and contractors. So yeah, it had that marketing opportunity, which was critically important. And so that wasn't even on my website. So I didn't know how that got created. Let me take a look one more time. Marketing opportunity is gone. Marketing opportunity is gone. Not a good thing. Now I could take the slide from one, put it in another. I could tell Claude to do that; it would do it. But I want my skill to do everything correctly. I don't want to keep talking to Claude. It says 3 vectors. Wait a minute. Provider geographic. Oh, this is interesting too. I mean, it gets a little confusing because there's a lot of things that might catch an investor's eye that I'm not aware of because I'm not an expert in this. But anyway, that's all I wanted to show for the demo, and like I said, with the thumbnail generator that I did last time, it was showing the thumbnail, so it was easy to compare things. But a simple way to get started with Claude, creating a skill or copying a skill and putting it someplace and just modifying it and using it. Okay, so that's all we're going to do for this video. Thank you for joining.